Santa studies the Aurora. High in the atmosphere is where you would find Santa busy at work tonight. He had been patiently waiting all day to take his new sleigh out for a test flight. While cruising above the clouds, Santa noticed an amazing bright green glow. He knew right away that it was the Aurora Borealis, nature's best light show. Santa parked his sleigh and watched the ribbons of light dancing in the sky. Since he was a scientist, Santa really wanted to observe them to learn why. He formed a hypothesis, then took measurements to study back at the North Pole. Santa always felt that making new discoveries was an extremely important goal. Santa carefully analyzed and tested all of the data until he reached a conclusion. Then he made sure to check it with his scientific elves to avoid any confusion. Both Santa and his elves were excited and amazed by the conclusion he found. The Aurora needs the magnetic field of the Earth generated deep in the ground. This field protects our surface from many of the particles that are shot out from the sun. It guides them quickly to Earth's two poles as they reach our atmosphere by the ton. There, Santa noticed that those particles interacted with the gases up in our air, bringing them packages of energy so that they could create colors everywhere. Satisfied with his findings, Santa knew that the Aurora was a very special sight. If you look north, you just might get lucky and see it on a dark and clear night. The end.
Did you know Earth's atmosphere is made up of 5 main layers, like a very big cake? There is the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Each layer has different properties, like temperature and mixture of gases. The aurora happens mainly in the thermosphere.
To predict if an aurora will happen, scientists study space weather. They measure things like the number of solar storms on the surface of the sun. You can find apps or sign up for alerts online to be notified when there might be a good chance of seeing an aurora.
The aurora occurs at both the north and the south poles of our planet. At the North Pole, it's called the Aurora Borealis, named in 1619 by the famous astronomer Galileo Galilei. At the South Pole, it's called the Aurora Australis. Other planets, like Jupiter or Saturn, can have the aurora too.
The different colors of the aurora happen because each gas in our atmosphere reacts in a slightly different way when hit with particles and energy from the sun. Isn't that right, Photon? The most common color of the aurora is green from oxygen in our air. It can also glow red when the aurora is very intense. We get hues of pink from the nitrogen in our atmosphere, and the trace amounts of hydrogen and helium give us shades of blue,